Okay. Oh, I'm recording. Okay. Hi, guys. Welcome to the goal setting team call. I'm going to mute you, Danielle, for 2019. I'm so excited about this because I love goal setting. Goal setting is like one of my favorite things to do because I love to see how things break down. So I took the questions that I sent to you guys in the Grit Nation leader page or message thread, and I took them and I broke them down into yearly, quarterly, monthly, and then weekly. And I strongly encourage you, as you're planning out your goals, to think about how this is going to play out and more than just like a year thing. Like, it's great to have year-long goals. It's great to have like an end game, this is what I want it to look like, but you have to have goals that are going to get you to that place. And they don't just need to be business. Business is only a very small part of this because you need to have personal goals. What are some things that you personally want to see changed in 2019? For me, that's consistency in my business. That's consistency with unplugged time. That's consistency, of taking my business offline and being a product of the product more than just online, talking about it, getting more comfortable hosting like little get-together, those kind of things. Personal growth. Like, I want to experience more personal growth because I'm learning and I'm reading and I'm listening. I want to experience more spiritual growth. That has been like the hugest part of 2018 for me, is how much spiritual growth I have experienced because I was willing to lean into a plan that was not mine. And so being willing to kind of hear what God's asking me to do and lean more into that. So I encourage you to find goals that are going to grow you in more areas than just business, because it can't be business all the time. Plan out, make goals for unplugged time, for vacation, for time that you're specifically going to set aside each week, each month, to have just brainstorming where you're just thinking about, like, who can I serve? How can I serve them? What is, like, kind of reignite that passion for what we do and how we serve people. Those things are all really, really, really important. But it needs to be specific. So we're going to talk a little bit about the why real quick. I'm going to try to keep mine short. I just did one on Facebook too, so you can always go back and check that one out as well. But why? Why do these goals mean enough to me to put them on paper? Why are these things that I'm talking about and thinking about? What is their significance in my life and what I want to see happen for the year? And when you get an answer to that, then I want you to ask yourself why again. Why is it that I'm working so hard, so diligently, and so consistently for these things? And then ask yourself why again. Keep asking yourself why until you reach that pain point that is going to light you on fire every time you sit down to work. That's going to remind you of the purpose and the passion that you have for this business, for these changes, for the people and the lives that you're going to impact. For me, that's my husband being able to leave his job. I have talked about this since I started network marketing, but it's not anything that I've ever been able to concretely say, I can do this. This year, I can say, I can do this. I'm going to be a 6-figure earner in 2019. And I know that without a shadow of a doubt. But why? Because I want to see Zach stop trading his time for money. I want to see us have more freedom in our family. I want to see him be able to be the kind of present father that he wants to be and the present husband that he wants to be. I want to have date nights. I want to take mini vacations and go do things that we don't have to ask someone else if we can go do and get approval for. And then something comes up and we can't do those things. I'm tired of living by someone else's schedule. So that's why I'm pushing so hard to serve more people this year. I want more people to experience the freedom in their health that I've experienced in 2018. I want more people to experience the financial gain that is possible with this company and how that has changed and impacted so many lives. And the abundance mentality that network marketing can be. I want to train more women how to run a business from home in a smart way so that they stand out from other network marketers. I want to mentor more women. I want to be a better leader. Like, why do these things matter? Because when I am showing up in these areas, I'm being consistent. I am pushing myself to be uncomfortable, to be more vulnerable, to be more present in the things that matter most to me. And then I want you to think about the how. How are you going to make it a priority? How Are you going to fit these things in your day-to-day? How are you going to balance sacrifice and reward? Because with every reward comes sacrifice. There has to be some kind of, if I'm going to be able to do this, I'm going to have to give up these things, whether that be TV, which I'm giving up in 2019. I'm over TV. Whether that be, I don't know. How are you going to make your whys become reality? And then when? Your goals have to be time bound. That's not to say that if you don't hit that goal in that certain amount of time, that it's not still a good goal, because it is. Not everything is meant to be executed within a certain time frame. But when you give yourself a timeline of when you are going to achieve these things, you're more likely to see it and say, okay, I need to follow step A, B, and C to get to this deadline. And then ask yourself, who? This is probably one of the most important things outside of why, because you need to know who you want to work with. You need to know who you are looking for, who you're praying over, who you're affirming every single day. Affirmations is one of the most important parts of your business before you sit down, because you need to know who you are, whose you are, and who you are looking for. That's a huge thing. What do they look like? Are they a mom? Are they single? Are they a college student? Are they, I don't mean like physical appearance. I mean, I guess you could have a team of all like curly haired brunettes, but like, what do they look like? What is their makeup? Are they, parents? Are they couples? Are they professional businesswomen? Are they influencers? Those kind of things. What do they like to do? What are some of their hobbies? What are some of their favorite pastimes? You're not going to have all of these things in common, but you're going to have some of these things in common. And this is going to give you an idea of who you're trying to target. So when you're on Instagram, you're looking for a specific person, and you're like, oh, she fits these descriptors. What is their personality? What are their morals, their values, their beliefs, their goals? What do they see for their future? And a lot of times you won't get to know all of these things until you get to know them. But a lot of times you can look at someone's social media and see what's important to them. And so when you're looking at their social media, like, what are you seeing? Are you seeing someone who is faith-based, who's motivated, who, is a family person? Are you seeing someone who loves what they do, who's excited about life? Like, what are you seeing when you look at their stuff? Because that's the first glance that you're going to take. Are you seeing someone that's influential? That's one of the things I'm going to look for more in 2019, because I want to surround myself with influential people, people who want to make a difference. And so get to know these things about the people that you want to serve. That takes intentionality. That takes time to look for these people. That takes learning where they live. What are some of their favorite pastimes, things that they're going to post about, talk about. But that takes getting to know them. This is how you set yourself apart, is because you want to take time to get to know people. And you want to do some research on hashtags. I'm really trying to move more towards Instagram in this new year, because I love Facebook, but it's like, I feel like there's more opportunity on Instagram. So what kind of hashtags are they using? Obviously, they're probably not using mompreneur, CEO. Like, you don't just want people from other network marketing companies. Now, that's great if you find those, but you want people, a variety of people. So think about that. And then I think that's it. I think that's what I had. But I want y'all to take some time to really write these down. And it doesn't have to be, like I said, specifically business related. You need personal goals. You need spiritual goals. You need family goals. You need all of these things. And that will equivalate your business goals. Because when you have these together, it combines to say, okay, because I have personal, spiritual, family goals, how is that going to shape my business goals? What's that going to look like? That's called setting priorities. And that's something that you have to do. That was the best thing that I did in 2018, was I set priorities when I came over to Isogenics. And I said, I'm not willing to sacrifice my priorities to be successful in this company, because I've done that before. And it ended up losing a lot of time with my family, almost ended up ruining my marriage, just gave my time to things that didn't matter. So set some priorities for yourself that are important, that you will stick to. And I want you to share these with at least 4 people that you want to hold you accountable in 2019. And I want you to check in with them, if not weekly, monthly at least, to say, hey, how are you doing? How are you achieving your goals? And if they're not hitting their goals, that's fine. But why aren't they hitting their goals? If you're not hitting your goals, that's fine. But why aren't you hitting your goals? There needs to be that accountability to say, this was my goal, and I'm going to ask you guys for your goals, and I'm going to hold you accountable to them, because I haven't been the best leader, and holding you accountable and giving you a little tough love to say, you're totally capable of doing this. You're making excuses because it's hard and because it's uncomfortable and because you don't want to take that extra step. And that's not going to get you where you want to go. You're not going to experience the change that you want to see if you don't get uncomfortable. So I'm going to hand it over to Jennifer now, and she is going to share some of her notes and things that she's picked up on goal setting and how to really be priority focused. So I'm going to mute myself, Jen, and unmute yourself.
Hey guys. You guys probably don't know me well. Katie and I connected in the last 6 months through Isogenics. We're cross-line partners, and we decided, just kind of following each other on social media, that our lives are kind of going parallel. We're both girl moms, very passionate about Jesus and ministry and growing an Isogenics business. So we linked arms, and we are accountability partners. And so she's such a blessing to me. I'm sure you guys can say the same thing. But she and I message quite often. And one thing that I shared with her just this week, I saw that she had liked this guy, like, you know how you'll get those sponsorship kind of advertisement things, and I saw that she had liked him. So of course, anything that she likes, I'm always like, okay, wait, I definitely respect what she has going, what she likes. So I checked him out, and it was like this free thing where you could sign up, and he would email you a link and you could watch his video. But I wasn't ready for how impactful his message was to me. Like, I felt like, when you are listening to somebody and you're like, oh my gosh, they're speaking to me. So it was a great message. And I told her I would love to share that with you because it definitely spoke to me. So he, in his whole platform, and Katie, his name was Hardy, right? Darren Hardy. I didn't even write his name down, but I wrote down so many other things he said. So his whole platform, he's big into like trying to help people grow their businesses, but his whole platform is something he learned from an elderly man. His name, he goes by Connie, but Conrad is his name, and he's a very religious man. And so this is what you do. You just take a blank piece of paper and you literally draw a cross. So you have a grid. So now you have 4 boxes on your piece of paper. And so this is your divine purpose. This is your mission. And it's a great time to do this because as we're jumping into 2019, we're all goal setting. We're all kind of, projecting, looking at where do we want to be in a month? Where do we want to be in, 6 months, a year, whatever. So I think it's a great time for us to really take some time, like Katie just said, get real with ourselves and think about what is our goal, what is our big picture, what is our mission, and what is our divine purpose. Because I don't know about each of you. I would love to meet y'all, would love to talk to y'all, but I'm sure, that you have some religious following too. And so I'm sure that you feel like you have a divine purpose. So that's what this grid is going to help us to do. So top of our page, this is our divine purpose. So the top right and the top left, so both of your top boxes, those are going to be goals. So goal 1 is going to go in, I just put it in my top left, goal 2, top right, bottom left, goal 3, bottom right, devil's vortex. And so one thing he talked about, everything that I'm going to mention, it goes back to scripture, which I love, but he said the great fight in life is determining your divine purpose. And so I don't know about you, I feel like I struggle with that. Like, where does God want me to be? What does he have for me? Am I serving him well? Am I using my gifts he's given me? Like, I feel like I'm constantly, kind of beating myself up about that. And he said it's a great fight of life. So I love that he kind of affirmed what I'm feeling in that. So what this grid is going to help us do, it's going to help us separate virtuous work from devilish tasks. And so this is going to be something every Sunday you're going to sit down with your cross. And as you are kind of looking at your week and your tasks and what you have going, you want your tasks to fit in box 1, 2, and 3. So under goal 1, 2, and 3. And you want very minimal things to be in devil's vortex, because these are things that distract us. These are things that take us away from our actual goals and where we need to be focusing. And so it's helpful, though, as you're writing things down, you're going to be able to see if these tasks aren't benefiting your top 3 goals, then they're distracting you. And it's a great way for you to see, like, where am I I don't mean this bad, but where am I wasting my time? You know, what is distracting me? And so I think the 3 goals that you are going to decide for yourself for 2019, and what are your goals? And it can be just a complete myriad of things. I know for me, I determined, of course, goal 1 is always going to revolve around family. Goal 2 for me is around impact. And I have not decided on goal 3. I'm still praying over that. But once you guys pray over it and decide where your goals are going to be, then that's consistent. Like your goal 1, 2, and 3 will not change in 2019. Hopefully, maybe it will. But the big picture of his presentation was those goals are always going to be the same, because we're going to decide right now what are our goals for 2019. Okay, so one thing he said is go after big goals. He went back to Luke, and he quoted, for everyone who much is given of him, much will be required. And from whom much has been entrusted, even more will be demanded. And so he was talking a lot about sacred demand, and that we have to honor our gifts. The size of your life will be determined by the problems you choose to solve. And so he was really big on, go after big goals. Like, God's given you a lot. He's entrusted us, with much. And so he's going to be looking for us to give back a lot. And so I've been on a search lately on my social media talking about gifts. And we've all been given so many gifts, you guys. And I hope that you know what gifts God has given you. And if not, I encourage you to really take some time to think about that. But number 1, go after big goals. Number 2, choose one task per day to focus. And so he was really big. He went back to Matthew, talking about wholehearted devotion. He quoted the verse, no man can serve 2 masters, for either he will hate the one and love the other, or else he will hold to the one and despise the other. And so he was really, clear that you can't focus on 2 big goals a day. Like, you just got to pick one thing that day and go after it. And so I really liked that, because I know you guys are probably like me. Time is a huge factor. And, you look at your day and you kind of feel overwhelmed. And so like Katie said, setting those boundaries and making priorities, and choosing one task to focus on a day. And then his 3rd big tip was create unreasonable deadlines. And I kind of liked this. He called it the Genesis deadline. And so he said, God created heaven and earth in 6 days. And he says he thinks that's to set an example for us, because if God would have given himself 1 billion years to create heaven and earth, then he would have taken 1 billion years. And I loved that he said that, because I don't know about you, but sometimes I'm afraid of failure and I don't want to fail. And so if I see a goal and it looks too big or too scary for me, then I will change it or make it so that I feel like that I can hit it. And so I love that he said that, like, God created everything we have in 6 days. So like we can totally set an unreasonable deadline and hit it. So I hope that was helpful. I thought that really spoke to me. I'm going to definitely on Sunday, I'm going to make my cross. I'm going to set my grid. I'm going to really look at my week. But I think for us moving into 2019, that's going to be helpful for us to really, like Katie said, prioritize our time, set some boundaries, and figure out what is serving us and what is helping us to serve those that we're looking to serve, and then what is distracting us. Okay.
Thank you. That was so good, Jennifer.
Yeah.
If you get a second and you have the link to that video, or you could have it somewhere, would you send it to me? Because I want to watch that. That's like so good. I made was taking notes on the back.
Yes.
But that is so good. I mean, it is like kind of goes back to priorities. Like, what are your priorities? What are your top priorities, and how is your week going to unfold? Because I think that's such a huge thing. Is to not let your week happen to you. That's one thing that I've always struggled with, is letting my week happen to me, because I'm like, oh, kids and other things going on. But in order to be effective, which is my goal in 2019, you got to set time aside to be effective. You got to set time aside to know what you're doing and what your mission is and where you're going and all of those things. So that is so huge. Thank you for sharing that. Emery's got a question, I guess. You have a question? Oh, you need more pretzels. Does anybody have any questions, any comments? Anything? We good? Good to go. Well, I'm really excited, and I cannot wait to see your goals. I hope y'all take a little bit of time in between family time to just really sit down and kind of think about what you want. I'm excited to sit down and kind of start planning out like a marketing strategy for January and February and what it's going to look like. And when I say marketing strategy, one of the things that I've become really good at is planning, like what does your month revolve around? So obviously January is like resolutions. Everyone's like setting up for resolutions. So start talking about how to make your resolutions a lifestyle thing. Like, how can you take these things that you promise yourself you're going to do, but a lot of times we don't follow through with, and make it a part of your social media scheduling and the post that you're going to write. Brain dumping, like taking time to think, okay, give yourself a title for the month, new year, new you. And then what does that look like financially, spiritually, health-wise? All of those things, and then start creating different posts based on those things. They don't have to be lengthy, but anything that serves someone educationally, informatively, that's fun. I don't know what she's doing. That's fun. And that helps people. Like those kind of things, those are the kind of things people want to see about. Throw a recipe in there. Throw, a funny, I don't know what she's doing, a funny like quirk from your kids, or, spiritual inspiration, those kind of things. The things that people love to see from you that make you a real human. I asked on my Instagram yesterday, do y'all want to see more business and family, or no family and business? And unanimously people said, I love seeing the mixture of family and work. And I'm like, okay, great. So that gives me an idea of, I sprinkle my business in with my family. I make it fun, I make it educational, and I make it valuable to people so that they want to come find my stuff. They want to read my posts. And then I just start planning out ahead. I did download the Better app, BETTR. It's for Instagram, and you can actually kind of lay out what your, like say you did 1 week or a full month of posts ahead of time. You can see what it looks like, so you can create a more appealing Instagram layout. So your color schemes can be the same. You can add quotes, you can add, funny memes in there, whatever. All gone. And just make it look really pretty. So I'm gonna play around with that today a little bit, but I'm excited. I will share the calendars and the digital planners that I got the other day with you guys, and you're welcome to use them if you have an iPad or a phone that has a stylus and you want to write on them or even print them off. In the Grit Nation team page, there's a lot of planners and stuff like that too. So feel free to check those out, plan them out. The last thing I would encourage you guys to think about before we get off here is, how do you set yourself apart? We're a part of an incredible team, like just an incredible team of people from all walks of life. And we're all so different, and we all do things different. We have a lot of things in common. But how do you set yourself apart when you're marketing your business and the products? Like, I don't just want you to copy and paste this year. It's okay to do those things, but I want you to put your flair on it. I want you to think about, if I copy this and paste it, what can I change that's going to make it more me? Because there's nothing wrong with borrowing other people's ideas. Even Jessica said that. That's how she, has done so well on social media. But what sets you apart? What is it that people come specifically to you for? And when you bring people on, what is it that you do differently that lets them know that you care. So for me this year, I really want to get better at writing thank you notes. Like, thank you so much for trusting me with your journey or with your business and helping you with your goals. And do like a small care packet of some kind with maybe like a stick of green, some ionic something, and maybe like some chapstick or something, like a fun little super cheap thing that I can put together. Just lets them know how much I value them and how thankful I am for them. And make a day every week that I'm going to sit down and I'm going to do these things, and be intentional about getting them in the mail, because I have all of this stuff. I just never get it in the mail. But I want those little touches to be things that set me apart. So whether that is sending a welcome email that kind of like walks them through step by step, like what they need to do, how to get started right, introducing them to the page, making recognition a part of what we do. Think about those things too, because those things tie into helping people have the best experience and getting them started right. And it's something that I've not done a great job at, but I really want to focus more on learning about my customers, learning about my clients, how to serve them better, and just being more intentional with those kind of things. So like Jessica has always said, being successful in this company is not about signing your way to the top. It is about being intentional with the people that you have, loving them and serving them well, and helping them do the same for other people. So with that, I'm gonna let you guys go. I did record this, so I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna upload it to YouTube, and then I will share it in the different team pages. And yeah, I just want to thank you guys for taking time to get on. I know middle of the afternoon is kind of a weird time. But I hope you guys have a fantastic New Year's. Send me your goals when you get them done. And I'm just so excited. But bye, y'all. Y'all have a great afternoon.
Bye. Thank you.